What's going on, guys? Today I want to make a commentary again, which has been some time ago at this point since I've done my last one. And it's not because there is much for me to talk about, because I don't really feel like going through these different gaming announcements and such with the next gen consoles as well. Given that I most likely wouldn't say too much besides this and that game looks nice and so on, so there isn't really much else to it. So I'm not gonna go too much into it. But I wanted to make this commentary to quickly just talk about a change in the walkthrough plan, more or less. And yeah, that should be the main focus, and maybe I can talk a little bit about Modern Warfare Remastered, because I feel like I should mention it sooner or later, but I'll start with the walkthrough plan change. So basically, I want to change the walkthrough plan a little bit. I have Call of Duty World at War left, and Fuse and Spec Ops: The Line. I think that was the remaining 3 games I mentioned I wanted to do back then. So I want to add 2 more games to the list because I've been playing through them recently. And the first game is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Remastered Campaign. I wasn't going to buy it originally because I thought it was not worth it. I wanted to wait for multiplayer, or if I saw a decent price drop to it. And it finally came on sale actually as of recent, so I thought, well, I might as well just buy it because I don't have anything else to spend the remaining money on my PSN account on something else at that time. And I didn't really know what else I really wanted with that money I had on my account. So I thought, let me just buy Modern Warfare 2 Remastered Campaign, because I do, after all, love Modern Warfare 2. And I had only a smidge a bit more than what the discounted price was at the time anyway. So I just bought it, and yeah, I played through it quite a lot actually, and it was a blast to play through. I really enjoyed myself in it. I obviously had my few nitpicks here and there that I thought needed a change, but overall it was a good experience. I was a little disappointed when it comes to the similarities to Modern Warfare Remastered. I kind of would have hoped that there would be a little more Modern Warfare 2 feel to it compared to the COD 4 feel in some ways, like the menu sound when you navigate through it with the same sound effect there, or the gun sounds in general for the M4 and such. And I would have loved to see maybe some different weapon inspections. That would have been nice. I don't know, maybe that's just me, because it's already in Modern Warfare Remastered with the same guns that they both have in common. And then there's also the weapon sounds. Then there's also the iron sight changes here and there, which I kinda don't like with certain guns. I know the mini UC actually looks horrible with the iron sight, for example. I don't know why they changed the iron sight to what the Modern Warfare 2 Remastered campaign has, but yeah, it is what it is. I had some few things that I didn't like about it, but overall I really enjoyed it nevertheless as a core feeling, and it really made me wish that there would be a multiplayer component coming, or at least be confirmed that it will be coming. And who knows, maybe someday it will happen still, I don't know yet, but nevertheless that will be a walkthrough that I will be doing for the next month, because I already played through it. So that would be a quick change there in walkthrough plans, where I'll add Modern Warfare 2 Remastered Campaign in, and then also another game called Warhammer Vermintide 2. And that is a game I played through with Jimmy Beast, also somewhat recently, I guess you could say. And it's a game that I have been looking into a little bit in the past as well. And basically I had a little interest in it only because it was actually compared to Left 4 Dead. I wouldn't really go into it if it wasn't for that comparison that I would see online with it being similar to Left 4 Dead. So that is basically why I wanted to give it a shot. And the gameplay was actually pretty fun. I actually thought it was a pretty nice game overall. I wish it had a 60 FPS mode on console at least. Maybe next gen it will be 60 FPS, I don't know. But I played through that and it was pretty fun going through it. And at some point I do hope I can get the DLC as well for it, because I actually did enjoy it that much to wanna consider getting the DLC at some point if I see it on sale. But now isn't the time, so I don't know when that will be. But you will see it at some point being uploaded, maybe here and there. Sort of like what I've done with World War Z. I recently uploaded the episode 5 with Marseille here on my channel, and that was because of it obviously being something that came out after the launch of the game and after I started the walkthrough of it. So Vermintide 2 will most likely be the same thing. It will be something that I'll drop with the DLC at some point here and there, but we'll start with the base game as a walkthrough for a month at some point in the near future. And yeah, it was a solid game, obviously just with a lot more melee focused stuff, but I did get more of a For Honor vibe to it. more than the Left 4 Dead one, mainly due to the melee stuff, and also just without the whole from 3 directions being up or left or right, like you can in For Honor. But overall, first person For Honor experience vibe that I got pretty much from it. And that would be the quick walkthrough change there. And then obviously I also still have World at War that I want to do. I want to wait with that one because COD 2020 hasn't been revealed yet. I expected a reveal this month with Black Ops Cold War, whatever it was rumored to be, but there hasn't been any, and I feel like I should wait with the last Treyarch game that I plan to do, being World at War, to the point where it has been announced. And then there's Fuse and Spec Ops: The Line. I still ain't sure about Fuse, and I kinda start to wonder if I should do Spec Ops: The Line, but I'll have to see. Mainly because I'm a little worried about maybe having some potential licensed music in it, and that was something I forgot about with Black Ops 1, for example, where it did give me a few copyright notices, and I usually would try and avoid it, but I don't want to obviously go and mute the whole section or part of a video just to avoid it or something like that. So I'll have to figure it out with Spec Ops: The Line. If it did, I can't remember because it's quite a few years ago since I touched it. And then there's Fuse. That one was just because I wasn't really sure if it was something I could get through or not. I know it's a 4-player co-op game and such. I don't know if anyone still plays it, but I ain't too familiar with the game in general, so I would have to obviously explore things and all that stuff first. But I know it's from Insomniac Games, so it hopefully shouldn't be too bad. I usually love all their games that they've been making in general, but mainly being Ratchet and Clank. So yeah, I think that will be enough talk about Fuse and Spec Ops: The Line. So that will be the walkthrough change in plans as of right now. It may change again sooner or later, I would assume, but as of right now, that is the quick change, and I will obviously make another commentary if I do decide to make a change again. And then I quickly could talk about Modern Warfare Remastered, because obviously it's one of the main games that I've been uploading for the past year or 1.5 years, something like that. I don't even remember when I started to upload Modern Warfare Remastered as a main game, but basically I wanted to also quickly mention that I'm slowly nearing the end of Modern Warfare Remastered, not in terms of level grinding to level 1000, because that's not gonna happen. I don't want to go for it. I mean, if it happens at some point, then nice, but my plan as of right now for Modern Warfare Remastered is to reach Prestige 20. I'm only one away. I still haven't reached it, but once I reach Prestige 20, I plan to basically attachment hunt for all the guns, and then from there maybe grind for the supply drop guns that I am missing, which is the Ranger, a shotgun, akimbo thing, and then the PKM LMG, and then there were a few pistols I believe as well. I didn't really unlock any of those, but there is no attachment for those pistols anyway, so it's not because there is much to go for, I would assume. Or maybe there is a silencer or suppressor, but it's already unlocked for you, I would assume, just like the normal pistols you have in the game. So basically, Akimbo Rangers, which I would assume doesn't even have attachments either, is something that won't do too much besides me getting to try it out. But PKM I know should have attachments, so I can still attachment hunt for that, so I would probably grind for that one as well. But besides it, once I reach Prestige 20 at some point, I would assume in the near future, but it will still take like a couple of months, I would assume, before I will really stop quitting it and slowly not upload it too much. But once I do reach that 20th prestige and I have unlocked most attachments, it will slowly mark the end of the story for me with Modern Warfare Remastered. And then from there, I've thought about what the next game could be. I still ain't sure yet, and this is why I really had hoped that Modern Warfare 2 Remastered multiplayer would have happened, because that game was just such a blast to play through and much more fun for me. I only hit one map in particular at this point in the game, and that is Estate. I don't think I'll ever like that map, but all the other maps, Derail and such, I could play them no problems at this point because of how the map design is in general nowadays with Call of Duty, so I don't mind it. But if I could play Modern Warfare Remastered, then I would definitely have been happy to migrate over to that one, and that would have been my main game. Sadly, it isn't the case yet. Who knows in the future? But yeah, that is the quick plan for Modern Warfare Remastered, and I would assume I will also do a commentary about it at that point when I am very close to it. I will be mentioning that I'll most likely stop playing it or uploading it or whatever, and only maybe hop into it here and there, sort of like what I kind of do now at this point with something like Infinite Warfare, Advanced Warfare, maybe Black Ops 3 or Ghosts or Modern Warfare 2, 3, whatever game it now could be. in the Call of Duty franchise where I just don't upload it that much at all anymore, but just quickly hop in. And if there is something where I feel like it's worth recording, obviously I would record and upload it, but it is kind of rare at this point that I would do it. It is more at the moment, and has been for a while, something like Modern Warfare Remastered or even Call of Duty World War II after I bought it again. So maybe the focus might be World War II at some point, because I still have some weapons there that I can prestige and such, and once I now am closer as well there with the weapons being done for all, then I will also quit that, because there just isn't much to do. I don't really want to grind for level 1000 when there isn't really much else besides leveling your profile just like that. I usually like to have one or the other, and yeah, I think that is mainly all the stuff I really want to quickly mention for now. So thank you so much for watching if this took around for this long, and enjoy the rest of the footage if it does continue, or if not, then well, I hope I will see you guys on the next one.
30 seconds remaining.
Don't let up! Almost over!
I am ready.
Let's try that again!
10 seconds remaining.
Area. Everyone get on defense!
Victory! Play of the game. Double kill. Epic.